One formula produces every whole number right triangle, each exactly once. The reason is a line across a circle. 3, 4, 5, 5, 12, 13, 8, 15, 17. Whole number right triangles are easy to collect and much harder to explain. So here is a question worth asking. Where do they all come from? Not a few of them, not a family of them, all of them. There is a single formula that generates every primitive triple each exactly once. Scale its output and you have all the rest. So between them, nothing is missing and nothing is repeated. And the reason it works has almost nothing to do with triangles. It comes from drawing a straight line across a circle, which is the part most treatments leave out. Start by being precise about what we are counting. 3 positive whole numbers with a squared plus b squared equal to c squared. That is a Pythagorean triple. But there is a cheap way to make new ones. Multiply an old one by anything. Double 3, 4, 5, and you get 6, 8, 10, which is a genuine triple and tells us nothing new. So we only count the ones that are not multiples of something smaller. Those are the primitive triples, the ones whose 3 numbers share no common factor. Explain those, and the scaling handles the rest. Before deriving anything, it is worth knowing the destination. So let me put the answer up and then earn it. Take any 2 whole numbers, m bigger than n. Then m squared minus n squared and 2m n m squared plus n squared. Feed it 2 and 1. 4 minus 1 is 3, 2 times 2 times 1 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5, 3, 4, 5 straight out of the machine. Feed it 3 and 2. 9 minus 4 is 5, 2 times 3 times 2 is 12, 9 plus 4 is 13, 5, 12, 13. It keeps working, and checking that it always works is a line of algebra. The real question is the other one. Why is nothing missing from this list? The move that turns this from bookkeeping into a real question is to divide the whole equation by c squared. Now a over c squared plus b over c squared equals 1. That is the equation of the unit circle. So 3, 4, 5 stops being a triangle and becomes a point. 3/5, 4/5, sitting exactly on the circle of radius 1. Instead of hunting triples, we can hunt the points on one circle whose coordinates are fractions. One wrinkle has to be caught here because it is where this argument usually goes wrong. In a primitive triple, exactly one leg is even. Both even is impossible since the triple is primitive, and both odd is impossible because then the hypotenuse square would leave a remainder of 2 on division by 4, and no square does that. So put the odd leg on the horizontal axis. That is not a harmless convention. Place the even leg horizontally for 21, 20, 29, and the machinery hands back 42, 40, 58, which is twice the triangle you started with. Orient it the other way and you get your triangle back exactly. With that fixed, any point whose coordinates are both positive fractions clears its denominators into a genuine triple. Here is the idea the whole derivation rests on, and it is a geometric one. Take lines through the point -1, 0 with slope k. Every such line has the equation y equals k times the quantity x plus 1. Why that point? Because it is a fraction point we get for free. -1 and 0 are already whole numbers, and the point sits on the circle. And a line through a point of a circle meets that circle exactly once more. So each slope k picks out one other point. If we can say when that second point has fraction coordinates, we will have found every triple. Now put the line into the circle and see what falls out. Replace y with k times the quantity x plus 1. Expand, collect terms, and you get a quadratic in x, 1 plus k squared times x squared plus 2k squared x plus k squared minus 1 equals 0. And here is the trick that keeps the algebra short. We already know one root, x equals -1, because that point is on both the line and the circle by construction. For any quadratic, the product of the two roots is a constant term over the leading one. So divide that product by the root we know, and the other root drops out. 1 minus k squared over 1 plus k squared. No quadratic formula, no square roots, no discriminant. Knowing one answer in advance did all the work. Put that back into the line to get the height. Y is k times the quantity x plus 1. And with the x, we just found that simplifies to 2k over 1 plus k squared. So the second intersection is 1 minus k squared over 1 plus k squared and 2k over 1 plus k squared. Look at what that says. If the slope k is a fraction, then both coordinates are built from k by adding, multiplying, and dividing, so both are fractions too. Every rational slope hands us a rational point on the circle. But the direction that matters for completeness is the other one, and it is one line. Given any point on the circle other than minus 1, 0, the slope of the line joining it to minus 1, 0 is y divided by x plus 1. If x and y are fractions, then that slope is a fraction as well. There is no escape route. So the rational points on the circle and the rational slopes are in exact correspondence. Nothing is missed apart from the point we started from. That is why the formula we're about to write down leaves nothing out, and that claim is the one the usual treatment skips. So write the slope as a fraction and finish. Let go be n over m. Substitute that into both coordinates, multiply top and bottom by m squared. And the fractions clean up completely. M squared minus n squared over m squared plus n squared and 2mn over m squared plus n squared. Now clear the denominators. The numerators are the legs and the shared denominator is the hypotenuse. M squared minus n squared, 2mn, and m squared plus n squared. That is exactly the formula stated earlier, and it is no longer a lucky guess to be checked. It is what the circle forced on us, and because the correspondence ran both ways, every primitive triple is on this list. And the pair is recoverable from the triple, which is what makes the words exactly once mean something. Compute y over x plus 1 again. The top is 2mn, the bottom is 2m squared, and it collapses back to n over m. Since that fraction is already in lowest terms, two admissible pairs can never give the same triple, and two primitive triples sitting at the same point must be equal, because one would be a scaled copy of the other, and a primitive triple has no factor to scale away. One thing still needs saying, and it is the part that is usually left off. The formula gives a triple for any m and n. It gives a primitive one exactly when m and n share no common factor, and exactly one of the two is even. Both halves of that are worth proving, and neither takes long. Start with what goes wrong. If m and n are both odd, then m squared minus n squared and m squared plus n squared are both even, and 2mn is even too. So every entry is divisible by 2. Concretely, m equals 3 and n equals 1 gives 8, 6, 10, which is just twice 4, 3, 5. And if m and n share a factor d, then d squared divides all three entries directly. So again, the triple is not primitive. So both conditions are necessary. Now, the other direction, which is the one usually skipped, suppose m and n are coprime with opposite parity. Then a and c are odd, so 2 is not a common factor. And if some odd prime divided both a and c, it would divide their sum 2m squared and their difference 2n squared. Being odd, it would then divide m and n themselves, which coprimality forbids. So nothing divides all three, and the conditions are exactly right. Impose them, and the list is exact. Every primitive triple appears, and each appears once. I checked that against every primitive triple with hypotenuse up to 4,000. 639 of them, no misses, no repeat. It is worth stepping back because the method is bigger than the answer. The circle had one obvious rational point, and sweeping lines through it converted that single point into all of them. That is a general fact about conics. One rational point is enough to parameterize the whole curve. The same sweep works on other quadratic curves, which is why this technique shows up well beyond triangles. And it is worth knowing exactly where it stops. Raise the exponent to 3, and the curve is no longer a conic. A line through one point meets it 3 times, not twice, so the trick collapses. That is the gap between a problem solved in antiquity and one that took until 1995.
Thanks for watching this. Subscribe to Thinking in Math channel for this and other interesting math topics. And we always welcome your feedbacks. Leave your questions and suggestions in the comments.